It is a real treat to be here with you for this significant moment of the Western Australian Tidy Towns competition calendar. It's hard to think of a campaign or movement in this country that has stirred such pride and action in our rural and regional communities as the Tidy Towns Awards. And it is wonderful to see representatives from a fine group of towns across Western Australia gathered here this afternoon celebrating the 41st year of the Tidy Towns Sustainable Communities Award program. A sense of pride is evident throughout the room. You can feel it, and rightly so. It is just that this is just what happens when we start thinking and caring about where we live. Pride begets action, and there is no stopping us. For just over 40 years, Keep Australia Beautiful has been showcasing respect for our rural and regional towns and our cities and beaches too, and they have kept us certainly on our toes to do better. Little by little, the bar has been lifted to ensure that we pay proper attention to the things that are increasingly important to us, such as managing our litter, conserving our water and energy, recycling whatever we can, preserving our heritage, sustaining our natural environment, and engaging people of all ages and interests and skills to work together creatively and constructively to improve our shared community life. Many of you will have read and pored over the extraordinary photography by Martin Mishkulnig and the wonderful and captivating words by Western Australia author Tim Winton in the grand book Small Town. And I took the opportunity to use these excerpts when I was in Canberra at the National Awards in April, and I believe they are very relevant. Winton is as a dedicated advocate for beauty in this vast land of ours, holding on to beauty and not being afraid or embarrassed to hold it up for everyone to see and enjoy. And he says, and I quote, "I love the sense of sanctuary small towns provide, the possibility of intimacy they retain. The way you can keep an entire population in mind as a distinct group of faces and traits and character rather than as an abstraction." But he also wrote of the Australian ruggedness and hardiness and said, I quote again, "My hope is that soon the hardy will not fear beauty but expect it, that will insist upon beautiful buildings and streetscapes that reflect a love of the continent that sustains us." And they were his words, and I have no doubt that this is the ethos that has driven the Australian Tidy Towns Awards since their inception, and all those communities of individuals who have strived to achieve and maintain the highest standards of civic responsibility and care. And of course, here we are this afternoon with the state's most outstanding performers. They have raised the bar not only in the quality of the towns they proudly display, but especially in the great pride that they feel. And in that respect, I just found another book, a wonderful book by author-philosopher Alain de Botton. It's called The Architecture of Happiness, and it suggests that places and buildings speak to us and reflect the environment in which they exist by the very nature of the underlying ethos they represent and project. In developing places from nature itself, de Botton reflects on what may be thought of the changes made progressively over the years to build the towns we enjoy today. He ponders on our obligations to nature in respect of the changes we have made. And he writes, and I quote, "We owe it to the fields that our houses will not be the inferiors of the virgin land they have replaced. We owe it to the worms and the trees that the buildings we cover them with will stand as promises of the highest and most intelligent kinds of happiness. In caring for your towns in the way you have, you can proudly feel that you have met this promise of happiness by not fearing beauty but expecting it. And in reflecting further on this, it is worth again considering the words of Tim Winton, who also said that sometimes only the bravest among us dare to be fussy. Well, ladies and gentlemen, can I take this opportunity to praise both the brave and the fussy among us and to say thank you on behalf of all Western Australians for what you do for your communities throughout Western Australia and our nation as a whole. Communities are the very foundation of our society, and having beautiful, caring and happy communities adds to the values we all share within our town and adds to the very nature of the communities they reflect. Congratulations to all the towns represented here today, not only as worthy entrants, but also for the contributions you make to our society as a whole. I wish you all well today and in your future endeavours.